Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Next Shot. Today we are recording live at the Lake Norman Brewery here in Denver, North Carolina. We have a special guest with us, Casey Jones.
Hello, everybody.
So, Casey, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into photography.
Well, I grew up in Mooresville, North Carolina. My dad had always taken photos with his phone and stuff growing up. So as I got older, I started, taking photos with my iPod back in middle school. And once I got like an iPhone and stuff, I started shooting just randomly. But it really didn't take off until a couple years ago. And that's when I really started getting into it more. I had a Canon for years. My mom got me for Christmas and never used it. I only used my phone. And once I realized that I really wanted to do it more and try to learn more about photography and stuff like that, I pulled it out and just started shooting, because I started seeing videos all over TikTok and stuff just saying like shoot everything, try getting outside the box. So it made me pull out my camera finally after years of not using it, and I just started shooting. And everything that I know and I've learned is self-taught. I haven't gone to school for anything. Not even in high school or anything. I didn't take any special classes. All of it's just kind of self-taught. And pretty much that's how it all started. It was just making videos back in, school and taking photos with my iPod and stuff, and it just transitioned over the years.
Yeah, I think a lot of us started the same way, where we got into photography because it looked like something that was pretty cool, and then a lot of us are self-taught and YouTube taught. So I think that's really good that you're following the footsteps of people that have been doing it for 5 and 10 years. So very good. All right, Casey, so tell us a little bit about your passion for photography and how you really got into shooting pictures.
Well, like I said, back in 4th grade, we got MacBooks for school. And so I started playing around with that. I don't know if you're familiar with like Keynote and iMovie and stuff like that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. I started playing around with that, just making random slideshows, stuff like that. And then it turned into just recording random videos on my computer, kind of making little short films or whatever. And then eventually I started making stop motions with little die-cast race cars, and I would make paper tracks and basically have a race with the paper track and the die-cast cars and make a stop motion. And I actually showed my class it for some kind of project or whatever. And basically the years gone on, and I kind of filmed a little bit here and there. Photos didn't really come around until middle school. But basically I would just take pictures of random stuff throughout the years, and then eventually, as I got older, I finally got a camera, because most of the whole time pretty much, I used a phone. I didn't have a Canon or anything all the way up until probably 2018-ish is when I finally got a Canon.
Gotcha.
But starting in middle school, high school, I started a YouTube channel. It was called East Coast Sneakers back in the day, and I reviewed sneakers and stuff. And did that for a couple years, and then kind of transitioned into more of a TV setting. So I wanted to do vlogs and kind of different content, so reaction videos, stuff like that. And then eventually I moved around a lot between Georgia, here, Florida, and everything. And so I stopped kind of doing YouTube and kind of just pushed everything to the side. And I bounced around, living with friends and stuff during that time. But eventually, years later, I kind of started shooting more, getting back into it and everything, kind of just with my phone. I'd shoot anything really. And then starting this year, I've actually pulled out my Canon finally after using it and started shooting. So basically it all originated from shooting little stop motions and taking random photos with my MacBook back in 4th grade. And then once I hit 7th grade, I got an iPod, and basically that's when it all started.
Right. So it sounds like you had your start in video first, and even the stop motion stuff. So it's backwards for a lot of people that started with photo because they were scared of doing video. So Have you ever given any more thought to getting back into the video part of it, or do you want to focus on your photography craft right now?
I would love to get more into video. I really enjoyed creating, like, the whole editing prospect of it and everything, and kind of just creating life, like
Right.
video. There's a lot more to creating a video than a lot of people really think about, and it takes a lot of time, but you put your time in it and stuff, and then you kind of just create this thing. And I really enjoy just creating, and videos I definitely would like to get back into. It takes a lot of time, and I don't really have the time I used to when I was younger.
Right.
Um,
Right.
But yeah, I would definitely love to get into more video, pretty much doing anything.
Yeah, a lot of our viewers out there that watch our podcast, we found out that a lot of them are doing it more part-time.
Yeah.
And, life does get in the way sometimes. When you start getting into a hobby that takes up a lot of time, or it requires or demands a lot of time, then it's sometimes hard for you to make that time. Myself, other photographers, other videographers that I've worked with recently are in the same boat. Just trying to get this podcast with you has been a little tough, right?
Yeah, it's been taking a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm glad we finally got a chance to meet up today and discuss some of the things that you want to do with your career. So going into that, what are some of the things you want to do with your photo and video this year that maybe you haven't done in the past? Is there something that you would like to get more into? So kind of give us a little bit more feedback on that.
I would really, mostly it's kind of stuff that I've already done. I mean, I would really love to do some real estate. I haven't done any of that. Some family stuff, family work and stuff, maybe like engagements, or just family,
The
portraits and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I'd love to do sports, like, high school sports and stuff like that, or racing and anything. Eventually later this year, I'm going to try to get a media pass. It's like a statewide media pass where you can go to like any high school in the state and just shoot sports.
Yeah. So I actually have had that pass before. I used to shoot for this small paper in Cherryville called the Cherryville Eagle. So I used to do their media, like their football game coverage, basketball, the things that I could go to, volleyball, anything like that for the newspaper. So I was one of the sports photographers there. So getting a lead or a leg in on something like that would be great for your career. So it helped me learn that getting the right shot that people can convey, whether they won or lost, the team that they follow, It's not just taking pictures that you think look cool. I mean, you got to really get them either scoring a point or celebrating. It's the emotion that is attached to the photo that you learn.
Yeah.
So it's not like Sports Illustrated where there's tons of photos in there, but they all have their special meaning. But in a newspaper or when you're shooting for media, sometimes it's one photo is all you get to capture the whole game,
Yeah.
So just learning that, I think, would definitely help your career grow.
For sure.
Okay, so going into back when you first got started, now you've been shooting for a while. Now there's people watching our show now that are just picking up the camera for the first time. So knowing what you know now, what would you tell either your younger self or that person that's just getting into photography or videography?
Just do it. Shoot everything. That's what I'm learning, really. Just go out and shoot everything, because everything has a different story, and everything also has a different light. So there's a lot to learn and stuff, but just shoot it anyways, because in my opinion, you're not going to get good if you don't do it. So I've shot concerts and I've shot stuff outside. And it's basically trying to learn, how to use a camera and stuff, and basically just shoot anything and everything. That way you can learn how to use a camera, what angles you need to shoot at, what light, stuff like that. So basically just shoot anything, and just try to work your way outside your comfort zone. And at first it's awkward, but definitely over time you kind of get used to it. So
Yeah,
basically just shoot anything.
I agree. I used to do this thing with our podcast too, where it's just get out and shoot. it's kind of like a daily inspiration for somebody to go out and just, have your camera with you, take an hour to yourself, go out and just shoot something. And just looking at some of your pictures that we've went over prior to this episode, I see you do some street photography. You do some events. You do certain things, I guess, in your area. When you go out, just take the picture, right?
Yeah.
And I see you got a lot of stuff on there that you like to play around with, either a black and white or your colors that you have available. So what was your inspiration, or who was your inspiration, I guess, to get started into photography? Or who have you found that has influenced you the most to keep going at it?
Well, both my parents have always done it. My dad's been shooting since the first iPhone came out, which was a long time ago.
Yeah.
My mom's been doing a little bit here and there throughout her whole life. She's going to school for it right now. I guess to do it as like a side gig or whatever. But mainly my dad, he's been really doing it, editing and shooting for a really, really long time. And I definitely want to, be able to shoot and have the content that he's able to do, and try to be as good as him, one day and stuff. But he really motivates me a lot on, my shoots and stuff. I'll send him stuff I've shot and everything, and, he'll repost it sometimes and stuff like that. But basically my parents, for the most part. There are some like influencers that are photographers that I look up to and stuff, but mainly my parents probably would be my influences on that.
Very good. And it's good to have that support at home, where or close by, where you can throw them something, they can give you some good feedback, and when my mom was alive, she was my biggest supporter.
Yeah.
She would always comment on my photos, and that was a big help for me to keep pushing and keep creating new content. So that's great. I'm glad your parents are there as an inspiration and support. So getting into the influencer side, we're very big on Peter McKinnon, Casey Neistat, stuff, people like that are they do it, and they do it in a way to make it inspires you. So
Yeah.
who are some of the people that you either watch on YouTube or that are your influencers for you that maybe our fans don't know about?
I've heard of Casey Neistat. I don't really strongly follow him. Nothing against him or anything, but I watch so many different people.
Yeah.
Casey Neistat does some really good work.
Yeah.
Just kind of outside of what I watch, on a day-to-day basis on YouTube and stuff. But
Right.
I really like the Stradman.
Okay.
He's like a car enthusiast, but he's been filming. He started just filming cars and stuff, and I really like his work and stuff. And there's a couple other people. I can't really think of names and stuff.
Well, what we'll do is we'll put a few in the description below. I'll have you send me those after the show, and that way we'll have some of those that maybe people can go follow. That is your inspirations, and then maybe they'll help somebody else as well. So, all right, so let's get into some of the photos, which we're going to pop some up on the screen as we're describing them as well. So I see that you have done some concert photos in the past, and you've got some that you sent me. So kind of give me an idea of the first image that we have here, which is a lady singer, I guess. So to give us a little bit of background on that image.
So my girlfriend, this is Jessie Murph. My girlfriend is a huge fan of her, and so I bought us tickets to go see her in Charlotte at the Fillmore. And all I had was my phone, basically, but pretty much we were just out in a crowd, and I just thought it was a good opportunity to shoot some shots. Sometimes I record videos and then we'll capture a photo while recording.
I've done that before too.
Yeah,
it's knocking two birds, one stone, right?
Exactly. It's kind of a life hack of getting some good photos, because sometimes when you're standing there with your phone out, it's kind of hard to get good photos. Typically when you're recording, you kind of have that exposure to having that moment. And but basically, that's Jessie Murph. She's a music artist, very talented. Like I said, we went to go see her in concert and just decided to shoot some shots of her and posted them and stuff, and then also made a TikTok video and I had posted it on my Instagram story, and she wound up viewing it, which was crazy. It
Wow,
blew my
that's cool.
mind. Yeah, I don't know if really it was her or if it was her.
Hey,
social
we're
media
gonna say it
account,
was her.
but we'll
Okay.
say it was her. Yeah. So
Now,
it was
is she local or is she not from around here? Do you know?
not from around
Okay,
here.
gotcha.
I'm not 100% sure, but
Okay, very good. All right, so the next picture that we have, another concert photo. This one just speaks to me. I don't know what it is. I don't know who it is. It's just like that's like a moment, like either in the song or after a song. Tell us a little bit about why you captured that image or how.
Well, it was after a song, right at the end of the song, but that is NF.
Okay.
He's a Christian music artist, kind of rap, hip hop. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but
No.
very, very phenomenal artist. I definitely recommend going to listen to him. But basically the same thing. I went to his concert in, I believe, Greensboro,
Okay.
and just kind of pulled my phone out, was recording, shooting, same thing, and just captured. That was one of the photos I captured.
So getting into concert photography, I don't know if you guys understand out there how hard it is to capture. Now, iPhone has done a great job, as you can tell from the photos that he's took, but I've shot concert photography before. It is a very intense environment because, for one, you're trying to listen to the music and you're trying to capture that shot of whether it be a guitarist, whether it be the drummer, which they're the hardest to get because their hands are always in their face, or the lead singer that has all that light right on their face. So exposure is one of the hardest things to get when you're dealing with concert photography. But is it something that I guess you want to do, taking your DSLR to a concert instead of your iPhone and really playing around with exposures and stuff like that? Is that something that you were interested in doing as well?
Yes. Honestly, if it would be anything, concert photography would be the thing.
Okay.
Like, I would really love to strive into that world, and it's just because you get to meet such amazing people. You get to meet the artists and stuff. I just recently shot Nolan Taylor's concert a few weeks back in May, I believe. And Zandy Holop also opened for him as well. I got to meet both of them. Great people, awesome artists as well. I reached out to a bunch of different artists many months ago, and Nolan was one of the ones that reached back out to me.
That's cool.
And he's got a decent following, and so it kind of surprised me. And he gave me his management's contact and everything. I messaged them. They got back to me, told me I could shoot at the concert. It was at the Amos South End, I believe.
Oh, Amos's South End. Yeah. That's a great little location for a ton of artists have been through there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I really liked that place. It was really cool, a lot smaller, venue and stuff that I'm used to be going to, but that was my first time there. But they were great people, and yeah, definitely if I really could, concert, industry photography would be the thing I would really strive for.
Yeah, I shot at the new venue down there in Hickory called the Premier. They have a lot of bands come in that do covers for like Ozzy Osbourne, Bon Jovi. They are pretty good about letting you shoot by the stage.
Yeah. Because I didn't know where I could go. I really wish I could have gone on the stage, but they were like, you don't have stage access, which I was perfectly cool with.
Yeah.
I'm in there shooting for them, but they have a barrier that you can be on the other side of the barrier.
Right.
You could be up on the steps. You could be pretty much right there on the stage, in between the barrier and stuff.
Yeah.
Shooting. And I got some really good photos from that concert.
That's good. So switching from concert photography into this next image, which is, I think it's a school. So you can give me a little bit more detail. But, dude, this image, just the way it's edited, it's kind of spooky. I ain't going to lie.
Yeah, it does. It definitely, in person, it does look really spooky just because it's such an old building. That is actually Davidson College campus.
Okay.
Over in Davidson. And basically I just went over there to walk around and shoot because I hadn't been over there yet. And I decided to go on the campus, and when I was walking down the sidewalk, I had looked over and seen that building. And just the way all the trees around it just gives that spooky vibe. And so, like, the way I edited it was intended to make it look spooky.
Right.
Because it's an old building, it's been there for a really long time. But, yeah, it was a pretty cool spot.
Yeah.
Pretty cool building and everything to shoot.
Okay, so moving on to the next image, Casey. This image, I'm not sure what's going on, but who's the mysterious guy inside the recording studio there?
That is Colby J. He's one of my buddies that I've known for a really long time. He's a music artist. He's a Christian music artist. He actually has an album coming up here soon. In the next few months, he has a single coming out, I believe, next month.
Okay.
But very talented kid. I've known him since I was like, I don't know, 7, 8.
Yeah.
So we kind of grew up a little bit together, drifted apart, went on our ways. He's been chasing music since high school. But he's really talented. I actually shot his album cover for this album that was coming out.
Cool. So nobody's seen it yet,
No.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
So again, a little bit of mystery. I've got a guest on today that is, he's shooting everything, but he's got a cover for an album coming out. So I hope you guys go follow him. We'll give you all of his contacts down below, and we'll also make sure that we post them on the screen at the end, so that you can follow Casey and his journey for photography and videography. So this is pretty cool to have a behind the scenes. And so what did he think about that photo? Did he see that image already?
Yeah, he's seen those. We actually planned this out. He went to the studio to record one of the songs that's on the album.
Okay.
And he wanted me to come along and shoot some content with him in the studio, and there was a couple other photos I can show you, and we can maybe put them up on the screen.
Okay.
And it was just really cool vibe. It was a really small studio, and he just wanted me to come out and shoot some content, and I was down. And so yeah, he's seen them, and he really liked it, and he posted it and stuff, and his record label really liked the photos, and they're really excited to get some more content out for him and stuff, and I
Very
am
good.
too.
So you got a foot in the door for future albums. That's great.
Yeah.
So again, behind the scenes stuff for an artist. I don't know if you guys have watched some of the Reels shows and some of the behind the scenes of the bands that are now either blowing up or have been doing music for years. But having somebody that can get some behind the scenes stuff for you, it's very unique to know that 10 years from now, this may be an artist that goes on to do world tours, and you were a part of that, so that's pretty cool. So the next image that we have here is the color and black and white combo, which is, I think, in the industry is called a color pop, which looks pretty cool. So tell me a little bit about that experience that you had with that photo.
Basically, it was downtown Mooresville, a car show. We got there pretty late, but we go out to dinner or go over to our friend's house for dinner and stuff. So like before we went over there, we went to the car show downtown, and I was just basically shooting around, shooting at some of the cars, and basically that picture really stood out to me, and I really wanted to kind of edit differently than before, because I just started getting into like Lightroom, and so I kind of was playing around and then made the background black and white, and I was like, I got to make this car pop even more. And so I played around with the car and made it really pop, and the whole photo just came all together. And just something different that I've done, because I basically have done all black and white and then obviously color photos. But once I started playing around with, Adobe Lightroom, it definitely gave me that door to kind of shift the way I edit things. And that was something new I started playing with, and I've done a couple of photos like that. And I just love them. I think it's really cool. Definitely pinpoints the object in the photo.
Right. A lot of commercial photographers will do stuff like that to make the image stand out, which is pretty cool. So good job on that image. The next one, though, I think is my favorite. There's something about graffiti. And if you know this show and you know Luke down in Georgia, my buddy, he loves graffiti and stickers and stuff like that, just kind of like street photography, grungy look. And this just the perspective and the colors just I think it's one of your better images. So I would definitely keep that in your portfolio. But give me a little bit of history on that image there.
Well, I appreciate it. Basically, that is the expression tunnel at North Carolina State, so NC State.
Okay.
Basically, you can go in there with spray paint and pretty much paint anything you want anywhere. You could paint the rails, the lights, and over a certain amount of time, they go in there and they wipe it all out. That way, it can start fresh. But I don't know how long it's been there, but it's a pretty cool part of the campus that you can go in and you can, express yourself, and paint. There's a lot of people that enjoy graffiti and stuff, and I just think it was pretty cool to get that photo out there.
Yeah. So let's talk about the last two images here. So this one here that we have, it looks kind of like a tiki hut,
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
That's actually, it's in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's called the Mushroom House.
Okay.
And it's something me and my girlfriend found online, something to see, because we went there a few months ago on a trip.
Okay.
And we had seen it on there, and basically went there and looked at it. But it's called the Mushroom House. It's a really odd-shaped house. Someone actually lives in it. So it's kind of weird, to live in a house and people come up and take photos of your house. But, I mean, when you live in a house like that, you kind of expect, people to come take photos. But basically, it's a really cool house. And I was hesitant on posting it for a long time just because of the way the photos turned out. But
right.
Once I played around with, Lightroom and stuff, it actually came out pretty good, and I decided to post it mainly because it's a really cool house.
Yeah, it's unique, and you preserve that in history. I know a ton of people have probably shot that image, but again, it's in your portfolio now, and you get to share it with people on our show, which is pretty cool too. So if you've never been to Cincinnati, you said, right?
Yeah, Cincinnati.
Then you can go visit the Mushroom House, which is probably something on your bucket list you wanted to go see. So of course you did it, checked it off, right?
Yeah.
Last image we have here, I love race cars. I love stuff like that. Just the aesthetic of having somebody to mold a cast, I guess, for a race car, and then the numbers and all the stickers on it. It's pretty cool how you can make that show up in an image. So tell me a little bit about this last image here.
Well, I've been in racing all my life. I grew up around it and everything. That's actually at a museum in Mooresville. It's the NASCAR museum in Mooresville.
Okay.
It's back behind Chick-fil-A in this Speed Street area. And basically I went in there with my phone. I hadn't been in there a really long time, so I wanted to go and visit again. And I just shot some photos and played around with different angles. And that was one thing that I wanted to try to do in there because of all the cars, how they were set up. I wanted to play around with the different angles and stuff, and I took that shot and I fell in love with it. That was the first shot I did with the whole redesign or rebrand with my whole photography stuff. That was the first photo I posted.
Cool.
And that was kind of like the shift of basically the professionalism of
it got you started back into the realm of photography.
Yeah.
Very good. So again, Casey Jones, Statesville, been shooting for quite a while, and I think some of the work that he's shown today is just a tip of the iceberg for what he's got in store for his future. And again, guys, make sure you follow him. If you've got your Instagram and your Facebook stuff, if you want to go ahead and give that out. If not, we'll put it on the screen. So just tell people how they can find you and some of the things that you're wanting to do. Maybe we can get some people out there to help bring in a little bit of following to your photography business. So if you want to go ahead and do that.
Well, my Instagram is CaseyJonesMedia_. And then I have a Facebook page, but I don't really post on it, so I highly suggest shooting for the Instagram. That's my main source of portfolio and everything. I am working on building a website and everything, but CaseyJonesMedia_ on Instagram. That's my main source. You can contact me on there. I have business cards, obviously, but that I can hand out and everything. But
very good. We'll get a little bit of his information linked down below on the YouTube channel. So, again, Casey, thanks, man, for coming down here to Lake Norman Brewery in Denver, making that travel from Statesville. We appreciate you coming in and sharing your story, your inspiration, and also your images with us today. So, any last words you want to give to anybody out there listening?
Like I said earlier, just shoot anything and everything. It don't matter what kind of camera you use. When I started YouTube, I used my phone, and so it don't really matter what what you use and everything. Just shoot it. It don't matter.
Very good. All right, you heard it from the man here. So again, everybody out there, until next time, keep shooting.